Hey, this is Vinayak Mathur from VM Graphics Solutions. In the last video, we talked about the basic user interface of Adobe After Effects CC. Today, I'll be telling you what is a composition, how a composition is created, and the various basic elements in Adobe After Effects. So let's start After Effects right here. Bang, let's just record. And this course is all about sort of any use to us. Go to project panel, and just for clearance I'm using the standard workspace over here of as I discussed in the last video. So I'll show you how to create composition in this video. There are multiple ways. One is to go to the composition tab over here, click on new control N, which is the second method I had to go to. Anyway, so if you click, you'll get back to this composition settings dialog box. Just close this for a minute. Then the second or the third option, I'll say, third way to create it is go to the project panel. Below here on the third icon says create a new composition. Click on that. You get back to this composition settings. Now let's zoom in and just play with some of these settings over here. I'm sorry for that noise. So I'll name this demo. Alright. And there are two basic and advanced settings. Advanced settings are not covered in this video. It's not of any use for a normal or a basic user, even for the beginners, as these videos are basically recommended for beginners, not for professionals. Professionals would obviously know these settings pretty well and probably much better than me. So yeah, there are presets defined already by Adobe, which says custom web video, web banner, blah 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 blah. And mostly I work with this HD TV 1080 pixels, 29.97 frames per second. With Adobe After Effects CC, you also get an option for film 4K and film 2K. I doubt if it is present in Adobe After Effects CS6. But anyway, let's come back. And you can manually also select the height and width of the stage. You can lock the aspect ratio, complete your decisions. Pixel aspect ratio, just make sure this matches the type of, or basically the camera which you use for shooting the videos. Frame rate, totally customizable, depends on which one are you using. Predefined frame rates would be in this drop down menu. Resolution full mostly. Duration, this is the basic one. At this point you can actually decide what size or what length of the composition you want. The time format of this would be as frames. Sorry, the first two digits would be frames, then the second set would be seconds, the third set would be minutes, and the last one hour. So, and then just drag this a bit over. You can see background color. This won't actually matter whatever you want to choose, because this would be transparent. It's just used to distinguish between the stage and this user interface color. I prefer it to be black. It is just more contrast, basically, if I'm using the right term. So click OK, and I guess that's enough for the settings. Let's zoom out back to the full screen and click OK. So I have a demo composition in the library. This is a library, if I have not told you, and a default tab has been opened over here, and the timeline has got activated. Now this is how you would create a composition in Adobe After Effects. Now let's see the various basic elements of After Effects. In this page, just go and right click, then new, and you will find all the elements residing over here. text, solid, light, camera, null object, shape layer, and the adjustment layers. These are called the basic elements, while there would be others like Adobe Photoshop file and Maxon Cinema 4D file. These two are basically the connecting link between Adobe Photoshop and Cinema 4D respectively. Suppose I want to bring in a Photoshop file rather than rendering out a Photoshop file in JPEG or GIF format. I can directly bring that layer based file into Adobe After Effects. Similar is the case with Cinema 4D. So for this tutorial, we'll be talking about text, solid, light, camera, null object, and shape layer, and adjustment layer also, sorry. So for start, I'll go with solid, just personal preference, no predefined orders. So I'll name this as BG, background, similar settings, width and height, doesn't really matter. In the starting, obviously you can actually change it, or for if you're using it for tracking, then the size actually doesn't matter. It could be even just 2 pixel wide and 2 pixel tall, hardly matters. Units, let the rest of the settings be the same. What we need to change or is dependent upon our liking is the color. I would prefer mostly black until unless I want to animate this solid, and hit OK. So, and all the settings are looking good, and then I click OK over here also. Now the thing I told you, that the composition color doesn't matter because it is transparent. Now let's see that. This over here shows the toggle transparency gate. If I just uncheck this visible icon, I basically of the layer, we just have the composition color. So let's try to hit this and see what happens. See, this is a black and white checkbox checkers kind of screen, which basically shows transparency. So this proves that composition color was actually transparent. It was just to basically define the difference between this user interface color and the stage color, while the color of the background actually remains the same even if I toggle this on or off. So this can be used as background. I can just go over here to effects and presets and choose ramp. I'm sorry if this takes a long time. Yeah, so let me just type ramp or AMP, and this comes over here. Just double click and you can actually change this as per your desire. So basically this can create a background for you with a linear ramp or a radial one, depending on your personal choices. So just delete this for the current purpose, and that's it for the solid. Just delete this, and as we progress I will give you more details of it, individual ones. Now go right again, do the right click, new, and then this time I'll go with text. So the moment I click the text, there's this text tool which got activated with the cursor over here, so I can just start typing. And let's type as usual, DM Graphics Solutions, my personal favorite phrase. Obviously it's my channel name, or basically under which I produce these videos. So this acts as a text layer. I can obviously change the color over here. Suppose I want to go, I'll go with red, brick red. I don't know if that was brick red. Select the text over here, brick red, and OK. And boom, you're gone with the color. Now if I toggle the transparency gate, I can only see the text because I deleted the background layer. Alright, so this is pretty much of the text. Yeah, there are properties like position, scale, rotation, opacity, and the anchor point. These are all these properties would you would find in the text, solid, and almost everything which has been used in After Effects. Those are the basic things which are required in animations. In the next tutorial, I'll basically just tell you how animation is work. Basically, how animation works, the principle behind animation. So at that time, I'll discuss all these right over here. So for the current purpose, just close this and delete this layer right there. Then again, right click, new, light, and camera. These two properties only work if the layers beneath them are 3D. It won't work on 2D layers. Then, so I can't show you those, working, but yeah, for the settings purpose, I can show you. You can name the light. You can choose this light type, spot, parallel, point, ambient, which I'll get in detail when I use this. Color, you can choose the color of the light, preferably white as per me. Intensity, cone angle, these are complex things which I'll tell you when I start using them, because telling theory of these will not create any impact on you. So it's better I show only the practical ones on the 3D layers once I create those. So this is all. So as per this, I don't have any layers or not 3D layers. So the error or the warning is like camera and lights do not affect 2D layers. Select a layer and choose layer 3D layer from the menu. And let's say never again because I know this pretty good. So here is the cone of the light. If there was any 3D object below, you could have found the light to be working. So let's create a solid and show you this, how this works. So I'll create a solid which says, I guess video would work fine, black, pretty good. Okay, put background below and create it 3D. Alright, and now let's just bring the light a little behind, I guess. I don't know what else is not working. Mhm. Don't worry about these settings, I'll get in detail once I use them. So for the current purpose, I'm not sure why this is not working. Wait for a minute, I guess, to set these things off or on, I guess. That might cause I'm sorry, just I'll get back to the light again for the current time because I don't want this tutorial to get long. Already it's about, I guess, 14 minutes long. So delete it right now. Similarly, I can show you camera, but obviously just till the settings. I'll not get into details right now. These are the camera settings, name as usual. Presets are there, like 15 millimeters, 20, 24, 28, depending on the focus. You can enable disable depth of field, which further uses some physics. I'm bad at that, so don't ask me these physics questions or mathematics questions. But yeah, I know a bit till the certain extent what I use. So okay, and this brings a camera. Once you have a 3D layer, you can actually view it. So anything which you see in this square would be visible as this camera from the point of view of this camera. So let's delete this layer. we are through with the camera. Right click, new, then what's left? Null object. I'll get back to null object once I use it, because these things are too complex to be understood just by theory. Shape layer. I can use the shape layer over here and create a shape. I'll go to here, rectangle tool. I can make a rectangle with cornered edges, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star tool. These are predefined, or else I can use the pen tool to create custom shapes. I'll right now go with a rectangle, and for filling the color I can go over here at the top, choose my color, hit OK, hit the strokes, whatever color I want, black, white, whatever, personal choice. And if you leave this, you'll see the color. Sorry, you'll not see the stroke because over here it says 0 pixels. If I hit this and do this, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. So this is what a shape layer does. I can animate this on position. Go to transform. This is a short animation. I'll just show you how it works. I'll just move this object from here to the right corner. I'll set the keyframe at the 0 second, and then at somewhere around 2, I'll drag this up till the right position until it is at the brim right over here. Cool. So if I scrub it, you can see the animation working. So this is how a shape layer works. Again, I'll get back to you in the following tutorials which deal about the opacity, position, scale, rotation, and other properties I showed in the starting. Then the adjustment layers. Adjustment layers are pretty useful if you're working at a professional level, because if you use effects, like suppose I have a video which says I have to do color correction in it, and if I have to do multiple color corrections, I can, rather than doing it on the layer itself or the video itself, I can choose the adjustment layer and do on that. That would actually be useful during the rendering time. It would reduce the rendering time as compared to what it would have been if I had done the effects on the normal video layer. So this also has the same transform properties, which is anchor point, position. These mostly remain the same all throughout the software. So just and then again delete this layer. So this brings us to the end of all the theories or the basics which you should know about After Effects. These would be the tools, or mostly the basic tools you would require to use even the simplest animations or highest complex, or what should I say, professional looking visual effects. It's all done using these elements, just combinations and the layering system, how you use them or in which order do you use them. So that's it for the video today. Hope you liked it. For any query, please put your questions down below in the comment box, or you can mail me. I have the email ID in the description below. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Like the video if you did, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.